If Aunt Gladys says it's fine, it must be. We are back with Weapons on Disney Channel.
Hey, fun fans, we've got some news and some use. I'm lying about the use part. We have the Mattitude Eric. I'm Matt Fowler. Say hello, Eric Goldman.
Hello, everybody.
I don't even think I said we enjoy, but we are. We're still we enjoy. Doing this a day late. Eric was in Vegas. He's back now, though. He sadly he lost every penny he has.
No, I didn't. I posted about this, Matt, but I don't know if you saw that. Because I don't gamble. I barely gamble. But there was a Jumanji machine. Jumanji slot
I did
machine.
see you posted it on your Instagram reels. I didn't.
Oh, you didn't see the full story, which I
no.
didn't. So there's this Jumanji machine.
Is it just like a series of photos, like the end of The Hangover,
yes.
where they're all looking at the night? Okay.
And it's funny because I would have always, again, Vegas has so many of these like pop culture machines now. There was a House of the Dragon one. Warner Brothers is really big about licensing. But the Jumanji one would have always amused me, but especially amused me because I just rewatched randomly that SNL sketch from a few years ago when Kristen Wiig was hosting. Did you see this? The board game one?
No.
Where she's freaking out about how the train game they're gonna play, what if they get Jumanji'd? Like she's like this paranoia and about like the game sucking you in or the game coming into real life. And it's a very funny sketch, and she keeps saying Jumanji is a series of jungle emergencies in a very funny Kristen Wiig way. So every time I pass this, and I know Trish didn't even know the sketch, so she didn't know why the hell I was saying Jumanji is a series of jungle emergencies.
I didn't even know why the hell you wrote that on the reel.
Right.
I was like, was that from? I thought it was from one of the Kevin Hart rock movies, which I have not rewatched at all, so I don't have them memorized.
Maybe Jack Black said that, but yeah. So we were in Vegas for Passover at my uncle's. We went to dinner at his house. We came back. And I was surprised when Trish said, "Do you want to go down and play a little?" Because my wife will readily admit she's not one to be like, "It's 10:30, let's do something."
Yeah.
But
there's an old saying: "When in Vegas, do
yes.
as the Vegans do." More like lost wages, more like whole paycheck.
She said, "Let's do the Diamonds Are Forever tour." Yeah, we went down.
You just hang off elevators going up to penthouses.
I played the Frankenstein machine and quickly lost $20. Though I did like one time I got when it says "It's alive" and lightning strikes, and I got a little bonus thing.
Lightning crashes.
Quickly out of $20.
Oh no! Well, you're not one to gamble unless it's with your own life.
Right.
You're
right.
like is this a life or death situation? I'm in. If it's just about money, who cares?
Then I went to the Jumanji machine. And that's the only thing I've been wanting to do all week was play Jumanji. And I put in 20, and I was doing 2-cent bets, just nothing. But then my third time hitting it, it said you earned 20 free rolls, whatever. So okay, fine. So I just sit there and watch it do it, and then Matt, it just starts going up, just keeps hitting things, and it goes up and up and up and up, and it stopped. It was done with all the bonus rolls. And I was at $160. Now it's really $140 because I put in 20. But I was like, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
Jumanji just gave me money.
The most passive gambling experience you could ever think of.
Yes.
You're skipping over the part where it did suck you into a series of jungle emergencies.
Yes.
And I didn't want to tell you this. I wanted to save this for later in the podcast. But Eric, it's 2027.
Oh my God!
You've been gone a whole year. But the good news is we took back the House and the Senate. So there you go.
Oh, yay! Everything's good now. But yes, so I won. I finished. I was just like, that's it, and I was happy. And I paid back Trish for the 220 she spotted me, and I have a crisp honey dollar bill in my wallet.
Burning a hole.
Yeah.
I am not a pinball enthusiast by any means, though. I say that. Also saying that when I go to retro arcades, I tend to spend a lot of time at the pinball machines rather than the old video games. Maybe because I didn't play pinball growing up a lot. And I'm like, ooh, there's a lot of fun little trinkets and little Easter eggs in these games. So I was sending you and Brent pictures of it is says Dr. No on it. And look, we don't have any Youse this week, so this is the Youse part of it. Also relevant to our James Bond run. It says Dr. No on it, but it was really a full Sean Connery Bond movie pinball machine, which is like they had a little Thunderball corner, a little the Aston Martin Goldfinger corner. They had all the villains, they had all the Bond girls, they had all the henchmen from these movies, and they skip over obviously on Her Majesty's Secret Service,
right?
But because it's just Bond, Connery Bond. Yeah, but that was really fun, and like they had the launch missile from Dr. No, and yeah, those things are really well made and fun, especially if you find one that you are deeply a fan of as far as the IP goes. And this was just relevant to our podcast, so I was like, I got to play all of this, and it's free to play, which is the best pinball you could play.
That was very fun to see, especially because it had Mr. Went and Mr. What's his face?
Mr. Kidd, Mr. Wint and Mr. Kidd, yeah.
That's great. I thought you were going to mention, because Matt and I have been together to the Pinball Hall of Fame in
Vegas, yeah,
which I could see from our window in our room. There it was, and it has much. We went there right when they moved to that location. They have much fancier signage now, Matt. That looks really cool.
It did look Vegas like sort of a trap when we went. It did look like it was like, is this a thing?
Because it's a big warehouse where when we went,
nothing was next to it in any direction, and
yeah. Now, because when we went, they just moved in and they just painted crudely on the front pinball. Now that's a cool neon sign. They also have a much cooler Pinball Hall of Fame sign on the street, and the sphere is so close, so it's like right kind of adjacent to it. So it's
imagine playing pinball on the sphere. Eric, is the Pinball Museum cat still there?
I mean, we didn't go this time, but last time I went, there was a cat. So yeah, I think they have multiple cats. I think that's a good thing.
I mean, it is good because, animals die. We all die. Okay. On that note, let's get into some entertainment news. This was written down and was literally on our list last week on the docket, and we just didn't fucking do it. So there you go. So catching up. This is a big catch up, which is the Stephen Colbert news that he is co-writing, we should say, a sequel to Lord of the Rings. Not the Hunt for Gollum movie, the Andy Serkis Hunt for Gollum movie, which takes place between Hobbit and Lord of the Rings and all that. This is a actual sequel, so like Return of the King and then this, and it is called what? Shadows of the Past. I have to look at
Shadows of something, but I am confused.
Which is a working title anyway, so Shadow of the Past. Yeah.
Okay, but I'm confused about and as the number one Lord of the Rings expert anywhere who can out Tolkien, Matt. Do you understand? Because they said
no. I thought you were going to say that was Colbert, because that's Colbert.
No. Okay. I we'll get to that. But I am confused story wise, because they said, "Oh, we're gonna cover some stuff from Fellowship that got skipped," but they also have this setup that's about like Frodo's daughter or something that is set.
No, Frodo's daughter, Eric. Sam's daughter. Sam had a daughter. Frodo didn't have shit.
No.
Who did Frodo sleep with? Eric, how did Frodo get a daughter?
Everybody.
Like, who didn't he sleep with? Exactly. You mean so Frodo and Gollum's daughter?
There you go. Sam's daughter. So I don't know. Is it going to be one of these movies that's like a hybrid?
It is. I think it's going to be a sequel / flashback.
Okay.
I feel like it was. So Colbert has been noodling this idea for a while, because there were a few chapters at the beginning of Lord of the Rings that like they didn't cover in the movie, and he's like, he'll even say like it's chapters 3 is company through the fog on Barrow Downs or something. It's like 6 chapters, and he thought it could be fit into a larger story. So there's your sort of answer.
Okay.
As far as and it's called Shadow of the Past, so that makes me feel like they're going to be looking back at a few things, but it does follow, as you mentioned, Sam's daughter, but also Sam, Merry, and Pippin. They set out to retrace the steps of their first adventure, and then Sam's daughter Eleanor has discovered a long buried secret and is determined to uncover why the War of the Ring was nearly lost before it even began. And that is something that he is co-writing with Philippa Boyens and Peter McGee. Is being produced by it's something obviously he took to Peter Jackson, and Wingnut Films is producing along with Colbert's production house, and this is just something they're doing as he sets up his post late night career.
Yeah. And now I knew, obviously I'm well aware he is a massive Lord of the Rings fan, and we'll reference it.
I don't see how you can anyone cannot. I don't think it's like almost unavoidable, like that type of that trivia bit. So
so this is like, as someone who's not a giant Lord of the Rings fan, I'm like, hey, that's cool. That's like a giant fan gets to do this. Now, on the other hand, I also understand that there is a lot of like concern, even from giant Lord of the Rings fans, about the oversaturation, the franchising out, the belief that Warner Brothers is making all these movies because they want to keep the rights. That there might be that thing of like, we have to keep making stuff to keep the rights. So what do you think hearing this news, Matt?
I think that from a look, if you're just opposed to any sequel, like this is something that is not being technically it's being adapted from parts of a book, but this is still an entirely new concept as far as a sequel goes going forward. But I don't know what better people to do it than people who know the material and love it as much as these fuckers. So like, and getting the, we assume that Sam, Mary, and Pippin will all be played by the same actors, and then you cast Eleanor, who the internet will complain about because it's a woman. But yeah, look, I am more excited for this than I am for the stupid Hunt for Gollum, which feels more like a cash grab insert.
Right.
Like that feels like, well, where can we fit something? Right. Like there's nothing else to adapt. It's like, well, we've got this window where we could tell a story. That feels more forced to me than this. I don't know why that it doesn't quite make sense, and I'm not articulating it well, but that just feels a little more like, I don't know, maybe because they're bringing back Gollum in a way where I feel like we've kind of spent that currency. Like I don't need more Gollum in my. There was so much Gollum in those movies, but that can feed into the next story, which is that Viggo Mortensen will not be reprising the role of Aragorn in The Hunt for Gollum, which is something I didn't even know that movie had or needed. I didn't even know Aragorn was. I don't know anything about it except that Kate Winslet is in an undisclosed role,
and Elijah Wood is in it. So we got
as Gary. Anyway,
as Frodo's fifth son. No.
As Frodo and Gollum's daughter, Eleanor. So, but also, I know this made headlines, like Viggo Mortensen will not be Aragorn. The news is that Aragorn is in the movie and apparently can't be taken out of the movie, so he will be recast. So there will be a new Aragorn, which is kind of news. But also, it's also kind of non-news, because what about Viggo Mortensen, especially this far later in his career and older than he is, would ever make you think he'd return as Aragorn? Like, I don't feel like he is too much of an artiste, I feel, to return to this territory. I would never think, if the surprise headline for me would be Viggo Mortensen returning as Aragorn, I'd be like, holy shit, that's something I never thought Viggo would do. This is something I absolutely thought Viggo would do. So
yeah, I mean, look, there were some people that were saying, oh, well, he'd be too old for the role. But any actor you bring back from those movies that they made 25 years ago is older. They'd figure that out, even if it creeped us out in the process with their digital de-aging. I'm sure they'd want him back because they're trying to get back everyone they can. Ian McKellen's in this motherfucker, right? But also, yes, the least surprising thing is that Viggo Mortensen, they got him once to do the trilogy. That was it. He's never sought out. He could have had a much different career. They got him to do, like, what was it, Hidalgo and a couple of things,
Yeah.
And then he was like
to your point, like, he could have been the new Jack Ryan. He could have been like, he could have had a full, like, headlining, like, Hollywood action movie career, or at least attempted to, and he didn't want any of that shit.
He could be starring in, like, a mainstream streaming series, right? But he is not seeking that out. So yes, not surprising that I'm sure he politely declined. And will,
or I don't know how polite he is. I mean, maybe he's like
double
fuck your mother.
Thumbs, double middle finger.
Yeah, triple fart minus. Yeah.
Leo Woodall taking over the role, who I've only seen in White Lotus. I know he's in the most.
Wait, recent... I didn't see that someone actually taking over the role. Who is it?
Oh, Leo Woodall. This was confirmed by Elijah Wood in an interview with Josh Horowitz.
I need to look up this fucker. Oh,
he's much more youthful looking, and that's going to be the big thing. Is like Viggo was someone who looked mature when he was young.
I mean, he's a good looking dude, but I'm just saying right now, people are going to complain about, unless he doesn't have the cheekbones. So again, it's never going to be a 1-to-1, but people are going to complain about that. People
He's
are
a
going
good
to call
actor,
him.
and
They're
now
going
he
to
can
call him
surprise people.
Temu Aragorn, Eric, and I feel
He's a
bad
good
for him.
actor, and now he can try to help surprise people because he's going to have this one uphill battle of people saying, "No, you're pretty and young. That's not what we want at all." So,
I have not
but
seen one thing this guy's in.
that's right, because you're not a White Lotuser. So you haven't seen that.
Yeah, I will never.
Never watch it. You're like,
No real reason, just being contrarian.
well, I've tried so hard to get you to watch Survivor, and you're like, I'm not going to watch a show created by someone who was on Survivor.
Yeah,
So there you go.
I don't like competition.
Oh,
You
Cherry
tried so hard,
was.
but you didn't get so far. Okay, so yeah, new Aragorn in the works, and he's taken over for Vigo the Carpathian. All right, moving on. Eric, every year I more and more I get the number of episodes in a streaming series season wrong, which is to say, like Paradise, I was like 10 episodes. I'm like, oh, that's right, they only have 8.
Right.
And The Pit, I'm like 13 episodes. I'm like, oh my god, they're 15.
Yeah,
For some
yeah.
reason, I thought the season finale was this week.
Oh.
And I'm like, I'm never gonna get it wrong. But also, how much of this is my fault, really? Because like I'm the one who's supposed to keep track of the streaming series and their like incongruous fucking seasons, and like, you know, everything's different when it used to just be standard 22. Like, world get on my level, you know what I mean? I don't.
Right.
Anyway, so but with 2 episodes now to go of the Pit, season 2, it was announced, or did she say it? It was announced.
It was Variety who broke it, and it felt like one of those things where I'm sure they didn't. I'm sure in a perfect world it wouldn't be out there yet.
I don't know. I'm going to treat this as a spoiler because who knows what happens in the next 2 episodes. It's a spoiler obviously for season 3, but maybe also for the remaining 2. But Supriya Ganesh, who plays Dr. Mohan, is not returning for season 3. Just as I don't remember the actress's name, who was the doctor who had the pregnancy thing go on in the first season, didn't return for this season. In fact, fucked off like literally 2/3 into that season, I think.
Right.
And never came back in a very interesting way that you would think, you know, as far as storytelling goes. It's like, oh, she returns because things got crazy with Pit Fest and all that. No, she just never came back because she turned off her phone. Okay. So, but yeah, Dr. Slow Mo is not coming back to the Pit. But then they also, I didn't write this down, but one of the one who plays Dr. Ellis,
Aisha Harris,
Night Shift, is being promoted to series regular for season 3.
Yes, and this is, I mean, there's this whole funny discourse, especially on the Bad Place, on Twitter, about young people who are really into the Pit, but also seem like they've never watched a TV show like the Pit before.
They haven't.
And so it's
no, I mean, it seems like it, but also I don't think
they haven't. Yeah. Especially in real time, like watching it has its airing. So, and everything they want.
And getting the show come back in a year later.
Yes. So, this is really fucking with them, and just the idea of like the fact that this show, which is trying to be more realistic than other hospital shows, will be like, hey, all these people would not keep working in the ER, especially. Like they would not keep staying there year after year. And so there should be changeover. Has some of these people decide what avenue they're going to take in medicine and where they're going to go with their careers. But people are, of course, are going to be like really upset or think it's like some weird personal vendetta when it's not. But yeah, I think it's interesting tactic, which is risky as far as like people will get invested in characters and love them, but then it is time to say goodbye. But I also think I like that someone made a great analogy. I forgot that they did this as much as they did, but they did. Friday Night Lights did this a lot, Matt, which is because it was high school aged kids. They did have a lot of, people like Scott Porter, Minka Kelly would age, like their characters would graduate and maybe they'd stick around for a season, maybe they wouldn't, but they'd usually leave eventually. And that's why how Michael B. Jordan gets brought in and like other people. And they still like did some funny things to like age down characters we thought were older to keep them around longer, but they still wrote off a lot of people just to kind of keep it we've got the coach and we have a team and we're going to have changeover. And, of course, you're going to be sad when someone you like leaves the show. But I also think I admire that about it, too.
As long as Johnny Pitt doesn't leave, we're set. I feel like also no one tell young people about the first season of NYPD Blue.
Right. Well, you
When
never know.
actors actually just would get big fat swollen heads and leave to try to become movie stars when they're the lead of the show. And then the show would thrive without them. So
Right. Well, hey, Valerie Harper got titled character
I
of the
don't,
sitcom.
that's true, but
That was
okay. For those who don't know, there was a sitcom. Valerie Harper, very famous 70s sitcom actress from the Mary. Wait, she was on a. Was she come from the Mary Tyler Moore show?
Yeah, I believe it was because she got a spin-off.
She was a roommate, right? Well, she had a
Rhoda.
spin-off, a big hit spin-off called Rhoda.
Yes.
Featuring Lorenzo Music, the voice of Garfield, as Carlton the doorman. But she was on the Mary Tyler Moore show. Anyway, in the 80s, late 80s, I believe, she had a revival of her, sort of her own brand she was a suburban mom and a show called Valerie's Family.
No, it was just called Valerie, Matt. You're forgetting that show had 3 titles.
So first it was Valerie, and then it was Valerie's Family. Okay. Well, the thing was that the father was a pilot, so he would be gone for days at a time. So it was more like mom's alone and dad's away.
Yes.
And it had Jason Bateman on it. Like he had this sitcom run, and this lasted for like 5-6 seasons. I don't know. It went on a while.
But the crazy
he got written off. Yeah.
But no, she had a contract dispute after the first season, and ended up leaving the show. So this is a hit sitcom created as a star vehicle for her with her name in the title. They did the thing, the common sitcom trope of giving her the same, first name, the character's name, Valerie. So then they kill her. And so then that's why the show had the transitionary title, Valerie's Family. It could have been Valerie's Dead, but instead they called it Valerie's Family for one season. And then its final title, The Hogan Family, after they're like, okay, we can stop talking about Valerie now.
So they brought in Sandy Duncan, who I didn't know that much growing up who she was, except she was in Wheat Thin commercials and played Peter Pan.
The Peter Pan Broadway thing was the thing I was most familiar with, the lore that she had been on stage. She'd been Peter Pan. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, they brought her in as like an aunt. I can't remember if it was supposed to be Valerie Harper's sister or the dad's sister. But anyway, she was became the center of the show because the dad was still a pilot in a way all the time. But the show went on for many seasons after that. Again, I don't think it's not a complete comparison because I don't think it thrived like NYPD Blue did post David Caruso.
But it was a success.
But it did run for a while.
Now that we're already tangenting from the pit to talking about the Hogan family for several minutes, let me I'll tangent on the tangent and say recently there was a list of the highest paid actors of last year, and the final person it was a list of 25 people. The last person they listed was Jason Bateman, who made $12 million last year or something. And I did remark how that's pretty amazing because Jason Bateman for us in the 80s was a kid and teenage actor on sitcoms. He's Silver Spoons, It's Your Move, The Hogan Family. He had a nice career as a sitcom actor that ended with The Hogan Family in 1991, 92. And then he was so off the radar for 12 years. And so it can't be overstated what a comeback Arrested Development was.
No, he readily admits that it saved him.
Yeah, because if you look at his IMDb in the 90s, he had shows that got canceled after 3 episodes. He had he was doing stuff, but nothing high profile. He was completely off the radar. So just good on you, Jason Bateman, that you could come back
to the point where in Smokin' Aces, remember that Joe Carnahan movie? Yeah. And I can't remember what year it was, but Jason Bateman has I don't know. There's a lot of cameos in that, or just small roles. It's a big fun ensemble. But to the point where I was like, "Oh shit, is that Jason Bateman?" Because I was I hadn't seen him in a while. I think when I saw that movie. So
were you not watching Arrested Development?
When was that movie though?
2006.
When was Arrested Development?
2003.
Maybe, I don't know. Well, to be fair, I did not watch Arrested Development till a few seasons after it had been on.
Oh, okay. So maybe you were.
I think no. Honestly, I think I watched it after it had aired.
Okay, all right.
I think I just caught up with it. I don't think I was watching it because if I think about when I started IGN and I was I think I had to it's oh, you should watch Arrested Development.
Right.
Anyway, Jason Bateman, funny guy.
Anyway, okay. the pit cast changeovers.
Jason Bateman should be on the pit.
Ooh,
I think he'd be an amazing asshole doctor. So, yeah. So Dr. Moreau is leaving. Okay, let's get to. I want to talk. Scream 8 writers have been hired. So Scream 8. Who knows what the fuck this movie is going to be about? But since Scream 7 was such a smash hit, Eric, I don't get why people hated it. How could it be a hit if people hated it?
right.
Scream 8 is in the way. There's absolutely nothing that I can think of that could talk about movie-wise or genre-wise or what's going on in the horror community. Maybe it's all about Shudder and they're like a horror streaming app, or I don't know.
The only thing I can think about would be meta to the point that they can't be meta because it would get into how Scream 7 got made. They're not going to do that. So,
yeah, I don't know what they do. They should have taken our advice and kept Matthew Lillard and had him be part of the Ghostbuster Facers team, Ghost Face Busters. But now they got shit. Anyway, Scream 8 is coming because there's no stopping it. And the writers are were the showrunners on Poker Face, right? So the Zuckerman sisters.
The Zuckerman sisters who, and before that, they wrote for a bunch of shows, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Suits, Fringe. Now, the funny thing timing-wise is they wrote the new Buffy pilot.
Well, which means they're available to write Scream 8.
They are available, but it also means you know how the world works, Matt. You know how people oh great, blah blah blah. So it's like, oh great, they wrote what must have been the worst thing ever because Hulu didn't pick it up. There's no chance that there were any other factors. They must be the worst. And
are you citing online people?
Yes,
okay.
But I always think it's funny because, of course, I'm like Kevin Williamson, who's obviously the creator of the Scream series and wrote several of the movies. It's like, because we're talking about Jason Bateman and the ebbs and flows of careers. Like Kevin Williamson after Dawson's Creek, big hit, ran for 6 years. His shows were Wasteland, Glory Days, and Hidden Palms until the Vampire Diaries. He had another hit. But if you're asking what are Wasteland, Glory Days, and Hidden Palms, exactly. They were a bunch of failed shows that didn't make it past a few episodes each.
Well, remember The Following?
Well, yeah, but that one actually ran for 3 seasons. So
yeah, I know. I'm just saying that he did.
I do remember The Following. Anyway, so yeah, I am not like, oh no, their Buffy pilot didn't get picked up. I like a lot of stuff they've done.
But that was because of the one mean guy.
Yes, the guy, the Buffy hater.
The one mean man in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Destroyed the Buffy pilot.
Yeah. Like you said, Matt, they have a very big battle here. What the fuck do you even do with Scream 8? I have no idea.
I don't know. I wouldn't. Again, Scream 7 could have set up some. Obviously, you're going to keep the daughter around Tatum, and maybe they're going to try to actually pass the torch.
Yeah,
for real this time to her daughter, and Neve Campbell takes a smaller role. It might be something like that, unless they've just figured out. No, all Neve all the time. That's what people want. So she's still going to just be doing this shit. Maybe the movie starts with Tatum getting murdered. I don't know. But yeah, where do you go? And then I just need to let you know that I made myself chuckle because I looked at my notes and I saw Dr. Mo, and I thought it'd be funny if there was a pinball machine like the Dr. No one that was all just about Dr. Mohan, and it's just a complete Dr. Mohan pinball machine that maybe incorporates all of the pit or just her. Like either one. It's either a total series one or it's just her, and like you hit the cell phone and her mom's calling her and freaking her out. But
also you're making me realize they could do the slow-mo spinoff.
They could, where she just does her geriatric fellowship or something like that. And like it's her and a bunch of old people.
Yeah.
And then it's like Man on the Inside. Anyway, there's a murder mystery. Okay. Do you have anything else to say about Scream 8?
No, just we'll see. Kevin Williamson had made it pretty clear he's probably not going to be directly involved again. That getting him back, he coming into direct, it was because Neve Campbell asked him. Also, of course, it was a crisis situation. So yeah, we don't know who's going to direct it yet. But it'll be. I'm curious, of course, while also being like, we'll see. This is a weird situation. Again, the movie, massive giant hit, biggest hit of the series so far. So they're not going to stop making them, but we have to figure what will happen next.
I mean, Gail's got to die in the next one. Okay. Speaking of horror, the Weapons prequel that we've been hearing about Aunt Gladys, now tentatively titled Gladys. I really feel like it's going to be called Gladys when it comes out.
Gladys, a weapon story.
Yeah, Gladys from the Files of Weapons is underway with Zach Kreger, writer and director of the first movie, co-writing with Zach Shields, who I don't know anything about. Who is this dude?
Zach
Have they
Shield,
worked together before? Have the two Zachs collabed already, or is
if
this
he's a guy, if he's who I'm looking at on
there was some confusing online things about who is who, because he's a writer, producer of a lot of things.
but he's worked on the MonsterVerse stuff, has both a writer and producer. He also worked on Trick or Treating Krampus stuff. So it doesn't look like he has like a history.
He worked in like Michael Dougherty verse, but like
okay. which would so I don't know if he has a history with Kreger, but that's interesting. They're collaborating together on this, because I think the assumption is Kreger probably won't direct this, but he is directly writing it, so that's cool. That
I don't want him to, because I want him to be doing other things, because I'm excited for his career and want to see more. You know what I mean? Like it's sort of like if I heard that Jordan Peele was doing a Get Out prequel or something, I was like, no, I want him doing other things. I want him to make the gem of a movie and then move on, and then it's up to the business of Hollywood to, franchise it or dilute it or ruin it or whatever they're going to do. So,
right.
But yeah, so they're writing that.
I felt like, they were already talking about this when the movie came out. Her Oscar win, I think, solidified two things. A, the movie will happen. B, I don't think there's any world where they don't get Amy Madigan in this sucker in at least for a scene or two, right? Like talking about
she's just bookends at host style, like Crypt Keeper.
Something.
Yeah.
I had a lot of adventures before.
Don't get me started on beans.
And I assume they'll try to cast Sadie Sink because she's young, hot, and redhead. So there you go.
Okay, and we talked a bit. Speaking of, we talked before about Daniel Deadwyler, who was cast as one of the leads on the new Ryan Coogler X-Files series, and now they announced the other one, which is Himesh Patel. And you've seen him in things maybe, but I know him and Daniel Deadwyler from one of my favorite things I've seen in the last decade, which was Station 11, miniseries that you should definitely watch. It's tremendous, but yeah, and he has a great role on that series. I don't even think they have a scene together, but it is fun, and it would be really, it would be lovely for me if I found out that Ryan Coogler was a massive Station 11 fan, and that's why this casting is happening. And I'd of course prefer that then. It's just coincidental, but yeah. So he is the second lead. That's your Mulder and Scully, if you will, of whatever this new series.
They are not going to play those characters because we're assuming this is legacy sequel anyway. They're playing new characters. I've seen him in a couple things. I saw him in The Franchise, and I saw him in
Do you see Yesterday?
Tenet? No. I did not see him in the 566 episodes of EastEnders he was in. Man, those soaps.
Yeah.
They keep you busy.
Speaking of, so I wanted to say this, tagging on to the Gladys of it all, because I thought of Yesterday, which made me think of Danny Boyle, which made me think back to Bone Temple and stuff like that, which is that Gladys could be great. Again, like you could have an Exorcist 2, you can have like you can just be like, The Exorcist is still the gem of that, and everything else you can be ignored if you want to. Or you can wind up eventually with something like The Bone Temple, which is such a great movie, that that you would never envision, just thinking of like, don't make more 28 Days Later, this movie was perfect, or something like that, and then decades later you get The Bone Temple. So again, Gladys could be amazing. It's not a story I want, but it doesn't mean it can't be good. Again, we've said this type of thing over and over on the podcast.
Yeah, okay, of course. By the way, with mentioning X-Files, by the way, first of all, I need to watch Station 11. Now they're making it's like that. You got to. They put both actors in it. But also Coogler, I didn't put down here as news, mostly, and this is mostly probably because it didn't resonate with us, but we should mention it. Coogler is producing Animorphs, has a series. For
I
Disney
saw that on Instagram. Okay.
Only because
it doesn't mean anything to me. So
it doesn't mean anything to me either. I mean, I'm aware of Animorphs, and people like to snark on the funny covers with the very early transformation pictures they were doing in whatever proto Photoshop they had. But it was interesting to hear fans of it react and talk about how those books, I guess, Um, Light spoilers for Animorphs follow. Those books got surprisingly dark. A lot of people said, "What if Power Rangers had real consequences?" Which is like your five teenagers were recruiting you to fight, and that by the end there was like major deaths and dark things happen, and a lot of kids have like kid trauma of reading like the war crimes, as they joked, but maybe not, that happened in Animorphs. So I guess there's a whole like, will Kugler stay true to the darkness of the Animorphs discourse going on?
What's your favorite Animorphs cover transformation, Eric?
I mean, isn't there a girl turns into a rat? I think that's the one I keep seeing.
I like. There's a dude that changes into a spider, or the spider changes into a dude, depending on how if you're reading it left or right.
Right,
But
right.
I think I'm a fan of the Rhino myself.
Okay.
The kid who turns into a rhino.
They're
All right,
they're all pretty strong.
they're all great. You know, they're all my children. It's fine. And okay, so we have a few trailer reactions here. The full versions of Supergirl and Masters of the Universe were released, and much like with Masters of the Universe, the idea of Jared Leto as Skeletor, it was almost the same as like Jared Leto as Hotbox Ghost, which is like he's going to look like Skeletor and he's going to be doing a voice. It ultimately does not matter that it's Jared Leto, unless there's a flashback scene of like Jared Leto finding a secret potion and he drinks it and he turns into Skeletor.
Oh no, a Skeletor!
Oh, no. He's like, oh no, I drank the bottle labeled Skeletor.
Skeletor B.
I have the skeleton, and then he turns it. It doesn't matter. It's not, again, Tron Ares was different because he's fully Jared Leto in that movie. In these other movies where he's just like a CG character, it doesn't fucking matter. So it doesn't matter that he's Skeletor. Anyway, Master of the Universe takes the idea that was introduced in the teaser of like him being raised on Earth, but not just being raised on Earth, knowing he's from another planet. So
yeah, they're not doing that. Yeah, they're not doing the like, you have no idea.
There's no Hagrid that shows up and it's like, you're a wizard. Yeah. So he knows it. His friends just think he's crazy. He's trying to find a sword. But anyway, he finally gets back to Eternity. Eternity had to kick some Skeletor butt. And it's just more time spent with the characters like Idris Elba's Man-at-Arms and, Tila. See a shot of actually get to see Alison Brie's Evelyn, as well as many other favorite Masters of the Universe. A lot of action there. Who's that as his dad? James Purefoy? Who is the king? I can't.
I'm not sure. Yeah, this is it's a funny dichotomy here because a lot of I agree with a lot of the different reactions, which is on one hand, them saying who under 50 cares about this.
I mean, it's not going to do well.
No, it's not going to do well. But I also, as someone who does care about it, think, wow, this looks really fun and like bright and colorful. Also, it's like Travis Knight, as many people have noted, the opening sequence of his Bumblebee movie was like the Transformers movie that we had never gotten because it like is like everyone looked like accurate to the original designs. It wasn't the Michael Bay, like I can't even tell what the fuck I'm looking at designs, and it was super like fun, like bringing that to life, and that's what he's done here because goddamn Trapjaw looks like fucking Trapjaw. Like everyone looks awesome, like those toys brought to life. It probably won't do well unless it can get kids, and that's not a guarantee at all. But then
I don't think we saw Marina Baccarin in there as Sorceress. I don't remember seeing her.
She's only been seen on some trading card reveals that showed some characters. But anyway, I am looking forward to this movie because, and I wasn't even a giant Master Universe fan as a kid. I was a fan, watched the cartoon, but I think this looks fun and colorful, and also I just like Travis Knight, so I'm looking forward to it. But also, it's funny that a lot of people are now the other side of that. There's the who's going to care about this side, the cynical side, and then there's the side that is saying, and I agree with this too, I bet it'll be good, and not many people will see it. It'll be like Dungeons and Dragons on her
I think fewer people will see it than Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
So
Honor Among Thieves. There you go. And again, I mostly agree with you too, unless it can like latch on to a new generation of kids. Master Universe, we should say, yes, there have been different iterations since the 80s. I just don't think they've taken hold. Versus Transformers, which I think has really never left toy shelves, and there's been a million cartoons, and so it's managed
it's really just our generation, and I was the Masters of the Universe fan between the two of us because I didn't get G.I. Joe toys. So I had Transformers.
The toys, yes.
I had Transformers, and I had a shit ton of Masters of the Universe toys. I had Snake Mountain, I had Eternia with the monorail, like I had all that shit. Nothing will beat, and nothing has matched since the synergy of the toy line cartoon of the 80s. Like for those 2 or 3 years that it
Oh
was,
yeah.
and it was a very small window. For us, it felt like the entire 80s, and it was not. And I remember this very specifically because when Ghostbusters 2 came out and the kids in Ghostbusters were not excited to see Ghostbusters at the birthday party, but wanted He-Man. He-Man was already passé at that point, and I, as a kid, was like, they wouldn't want to see He-Man. Took me out of the movie. Anyway.
Yeah, He-Man had a strangely short window. He-Man like burnt bright, but like burnt out quicker than some of like G.I. Joe and Transformers lasted longer in the 80s. Yeah, He-Man was like the most popular thing going for like 2 years.
So if anything, this movie feels like the movie we should have gotten during that very brief window in the 80s when they gave us a movie that were also weirdly adamant about not including movie characters in it at all. Like they had Man-at-Arms and Tila and like Skeletor and Evelyn, but they made up henchmen, which was like really infuriating. Really infuriating.
Yes, so. It was, and of course they did the thing of almost setting it entirely on Earth. But yes, so I hope like everything, hope it's good. It looks good to me. Doesn't mean it's going to be a hit. But if I enjoy it, does it matter? They made it for me, Matt, and I liked it.
Just make things for us at a loss, at a
lose money. There you loss. Go, Jeff Bezos. You just lost money, but we liked it.
Supergirl doubles down. Like, so the new thing about this trailer is that it really like sets the focus on what the stakes are, which is saving crypto, which as we all know, I know, which is like basically like maybe I feel like it's the dumbest but also smartest move to make about this movie, because like it probably is the stakes we're going to care about the most is saving a dog. It worked for John Wick, first of all, but second of all, also just knowing like how James on his reverence for animals, and I say pets, I guess. I don't know how he feels about all animals. Like, I don't know if he's vegan or what, but like he loves pets. He loves some dogs. He loves his own dog, and he modeled crypto after his dog. And we know, if you've seen Guardians 3, how heart-wrenching these scenes can be with the animals and stuff. So crypto gets poisoned by a guy with weird face, and Supergirl sets off to find the cure or seek revenge and team with Lobo, who's drunk in a bar. And action ensues. And then there's some other chick there too.
Well, I've read the comic, so I know it's
which comic character who's the other woman?
I forget. I'm forgetting her name, but yeah, this is all the Woman of Tomorrow storyline, which was
the dog stuff from Woman of Tomorrow?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, okay, cool.
What's not in Woman of Tomorrow was Lobo, but everything else is from that storyline.
Rufia Maria Knoll.
Mm-hmm. But yes, I
don't know how to say her name, but that's the young girl who recruits Supergirl on this journey.
Yes, that she's kind of hired to do this thing. By the way, he straight up shoots Crypto in the trailer.
Yeah, but I feel like Crypto's dying of a poison.
Maybe
because of the shot.
Yeah,
and she has to go find the cure.
But look, that's a good stakes. It is funny that it worked for John Wick, except this was a straight up revenge in John Wick because his dog was dead. But yeah,
I also feel like John Wick may have been about other things than the dog. I don't know, Eric. I don't know. I'm going down on a limb here.
And by the way, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is not just about saving Crypto.
I actually feel like it's about saving Crypto.
Well, no, but
Crypto's the only family she has and the only being she likes.
Yeah, but I think it's pretty clear that she should probably maybe have more family she connects
to. But no, I get that, but I also don't think that Crypto is a stand-in for her dead wife. I don't think Crypto's a stand-in for David Krumholtz.
No, he's a stand-in for her planet. That's what he's a stand-in for.
That's a little too much to put on a dog. I'm just saying maybe we shouldn't be heaping all of our trauma on.
Unfortunately, that's just how it is if you're part of the House of L. And that's what's going on.
Man, I didn't watch that Krypton series. Was that what it was all about?
It was about how they revere dogs.
Yeah, it's like, this is my beloved pet. He also represents all of my unresolved trauma. Please treat him delicately, and if any harm should come to him, I'm going scorched earth. Okay.
Yes, I believe Lobo was in that series, by the way. Yes, he was.
Yeah, they just can't stay away from the Lobo.
They can't stay away from
Lobo, who basically, to me, as a non-Lobo knower, is just, it's like, oh, they just can't. And this is not anything original, but like, it's just Jason Momoa playing himself, so it's fine.
Again, but
he's just real life Lobo. So.
The very funny way we got here, that Momoa always wanted to play Lobo, assumed he was being brought in to talk to Zack Snyder about Lobo, only for them to give him.
I just assumed that Momoa has he's had the look he's had for the past 15 years because he's trying to be Lobo.
Yes.
And if he wasn't trying to be Lobo, he'd just have short hair and be clean shaven and all that, you know.
Yes, he'd be his Baywatch self. But yeah, I liked this trailer a lot. I think it helped I think I saw a lot of people respond to it a lot more than the teaser because
it's about a fucking dog.
Because it's about a fucking dog. But yeah. I look forward to it. Again, we should reiterate, James Gunn did not write or direct this movie. So it is funny that inevitably people are going to bring up Guardians comparisons because the nature of the story of like
right, but also it's weird that Craig Gillespie gets the from Craig Gillespie credit, but okay, whatever. Go ahead.
Why?
Because who gives a shit?
I mean, but he's directed like Oscar-nominated movies. He has an interest. He is such a funny like one for them.
I guess someone has to do it first, right? Which is to say, like, he's not a household name. So again, like, I feel like household names get that, which is to say, like, from Nolan, right? Like, you get like walk down the street, put a mic up, Billy on the Street style, which is like, who's Craig Gillespie? No one's gonna fucking know, right? So, but someone's got to do it first. Maybe this is their attempt to get that ball rolling. Like, everybody knows who Craig Gillespie is now.
If Lee Cronin can get Lee Cronin,
like director of Lars and the Real Girl, and
so
like,
all the Lars heads. But look, if Lee Cronin on his second movie is already getting Lee Cronin's The Mummy, Craig Gillespie can get a from director Craig Gillespie in the trailer.
Lee Cronin's a fun name though. Craig Gillespie is not a fun name. I don't like it.
Fine. It's fine.
Lee Cronin, really good. Let's see. Okay, I think that's it for entertainment news here. We had I partially lied, which is like we did get a brief write-in, but it was literally David writing in saying that he was also excited that Wonder Man got picked up, and that we rock. So thank you, David.
Well, thank you very much, David.
And but let's get into any recommendations we have before we sign off. Eric, I know you've been seeing a shit ton. Anything to recommend?
I'll recommend The Drama, which is out in theaters right now, starring Zendaya and Robert Pattinson in the first of their 3 movies this year, and first of her 4 movies and a TV show. That's a busy girl. But I quite like this movie. By its nature, it's going to be divisive, but I think it's an interesting movie as far as like gives you stuff to talk about. If you see the trailers, you kind of know there was 2 different trailers. One was very obscure. The other kind of give you the setup of that she reveals something. They're playing a game. They're a couple about to be married, week of their wedding, and they're playing a drunken game of what's the worst thing you ever did with their friends. And what she reveals is like, really sort of rocks his world, changes his and his friend's perception of her, and, has their wedding is like hurtling towards them. It's I won't say what the thing is, even though it's out there, but it's a very
good. I'm glad you told me it's out there because I'm not even going to see it right away. So I'm going to get spoiled. Okay.
It's a very dark comedy because it is comedy. Like even after that, like there is definitely stuff in the movie that plays comedically in a kind of intense, weird, creepy way that you might imagine Robert Pattinson would be attracted to. I think both of them are great. The first third of the movie gets to kind of play it like it's a rom-com with 2 very, charismatic, interesting stars of our era, and then they get to go into this whole other terrain and fantasy sequences and sort of them thinking about each other and how they're like seeing each other point of view, like literal point of view shots of like imaginary stuff. There's a lot of cleverness, I think, in the movie. I really like the character dynamics. It's a movie that has kind of an ambiguous ending in a way that I think both make sense and can be a little frustrating if you want a lot of, it doesn't tie into everything up, nor would I expect it to, nor do I need it to. Maybe I would have liked a little bit more closure, but I also think it's a movie that by its very nature is meant to provoke conversation and debate. And I think it does a good job of that. And I was entertained by the weird ride it took me on. So I recommend The Drama.
All right. The Drama, everybody. The Drama. I just recently saw the trailer for that, the last movie I saw, and I was like, oh, this movie exists. And it looks interesting.
I saw that was I know you and I are different trailer
Yeah, we're in
worlds.
different trailer
Yeah.
algorithms
Because I
with
saw,
our
yeah,
movie theater. So.
I saw the drama trailer a lot, but I mostly saw the one. Did the one you saw, did it show when they're having the "what's the worst thing you did" conversation?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
because there was another one that was literally just like it was so A24, and that it
No, I
was just
didn't get
like,
any vague ones. I got one
okay,
with like, this is the story you're gonna
I
watch.
got the vaguer one more, and that one would be annoying to me, but yes.
My recommendation is just, hey, do you like Bill Lawrence? Well, you're gonna, because he's got every TV show on right now.
Yes, he does.
I feel like he has for the past, I don't know, 6 years or something, between the Ted Lasso, the Bad Monkey, the Shrinking. Now he's also, on top of Shrinking, wrapping up his third season. He's got the Scrubs revival and a show on HBO called Rooster, which is what I'm recommending. I have not watched the full season. I can't imagine that it spirals out of control in a way that I wouldn't recommend it. I'm watching it weekly, just basically with everyone else. And it is delightful because it's Bill Lawrence. And it's exactly, if you know Bill Lawrence, I don't really have to sell you on what you're about to watch. It's a lot of fun banter, a lot of cringe moments. It's very fun. It stars Steve Carell as um, a hit novelist of like airport novels, like sort of, the pulpy thrillers that you pick up in at a you know, just to read on vacation. He calls them beach novels. Going to visit his uh, daughter at a liberal arts college in New England, where she's a professor, and because her sort of basically her life is sort of in spiraling at the moment because her husband had left her for a graduate student,
Mm.
and it's about him begrudgingly taking a temporary post at this college, and being, more close with her, his daughter who's there, who's going through life problems, while he himself is a series of stumbling misadventures through as a elder person going through the younger college generation, and very fun. Danielle Deadweiler is also in it,
Oh,
previously mentioned on this podcast. She is a lead of the show, along with Phil Dunster, who you would know as Jamie Tart from Ted Lasso.
I would know him
And
from that.
Bill Lawrence fave John C. McGinley is also in it as one of the leads. So he's
Um,
the college president.
yeah, Bill, I like Bill Lawrence stuff. I'm sure I like this. Bill Lawrence has had some fun. I've seen him respond to some posts where he it's not like angry ones where people are like, "Wow, Bill Lawrence really is doing great," kind of making the same show over and over again, which is to say, like, middle-aged guy, kind of adrift, trying to figure stuff out, and he's taken that in good stride. The fact that, and it's funny because now Scrubs comes back, and now Zach Braff is middle-aged, so now it can kind of fit into that too. But yeah, I'm sure I will enjoy this like I enjoy the other Bill Lawrence shows.
I will say that maybe this splits the difference, because how old is Jason Segel? So if we're talking about it, so okay, so Steve Carell's probably 10 years older than Jason Segel, maybe a little
Yeah.
more. He's a little elder than Jason Segel, but I get your point.
Mhm.
Yeah, again, that's why I said, like, if you're gonna watch a Bill Lawrence show, you gotta know you know what you're walking into. I would also point out to REM fans that, if you first of all, if you haven't seen Michael Shannon and Jason Narducci's cover REM cover band that sort of makes the news and goes around playing album specific sets of REM's like 80s work, that by the time they finish their tour, a member of REM or members of REM join them on stage to play songs with them, including Michael Stipe coming up to sing song. Anyway,
Oh,
which is REM, one of my favorite bands, but also one that I never got to see live. And it's one of those things now where it's just frustrating because they're all alive. There are bands that where singers have died, obviously, or other band members, and like, I'll never see them because they've all died, or some of them have. These people are all alive, and they just decided not to play with each other anymore, and it's upsetting. I had tickets to see them in '94, but moved back to New York, and didn't get to see them in LA. Anyway, so Michael Stipe is basically singing his first song in forever.
oh,
Is the title song for this is called "I Play the Fool" by Michael Stipe and songwriter Andrew Watt, who also does the music for the show. So if you're a Stipe fan, and one of the reasons I love The Bear too is how much the showrunner of that loves the REM.
oh, he
And,
sure does.
He sure
Yes.
does. So that's just a cherry on top if you're going to watch the show and you're an REM fan. Rooster, everybody. the rooster. The theme song could have been Alice in Chains Rooster, but it is not.
It could have been. Remember when we watched that live on stage and there was a guy dressed like a chicken who came out? It was probably someone famous.
Oh, on stage at Lollapalooza?
Yes.
Yeah, it was probably Bill Clinton. Everybody, President Clinton.
Oh, the 90s.
All right. What was his stupid brother's name that was always Roger Clinton? It's probably Roger Clinton.
Dressed as a chicken on the Lollapalooza stage.
And Bill's like, Roger.
Classic Roger.
All right. That is our News and Used episode this week. And until next time, everything is possible, but nothing is real. And Shakma.
Shakma.
Shakma!